What's going on, guys? FJ here, joined yet again by Randy, aka Gorfy the Gorf. What's up, Randy?
Hey everyone, Randy here, aka Gorfy the Gorf. FJ and I are here coming at you with a Challenge of Elders Destiny video. We're here on week 2, seeing what's up, checking it out, hoping to get some good drops.
I'm with you there. I know I want some good drops. So the highlights from this week's Challenge of Elders is that it brings back some old friends. In round 2, we get to see the Scion Flayers. In round 3, we get a wannabe Templar from the Vault of Glass. And it brings back Gorf's personal favorite, the Sunsinger.
That's right, FJ. Sunsinger here sees a little bit of a return to glory, a little nostalgia. You're definitely going to want to use your Sunsinger on this challenge, as your grenade kills will be what nets you the extra points. And you're going to want to build your Sunsinger a lot like you did in the days of old. But what I mean by that is during the Vault of Glass, there were a lot of cheeses, as we could call them, to help defeat some bosses by just simply pushing them off the map, which required a certain Sunsinger build. That build really comes into effect this week in the Prison of Elders.
Yeah, to be honest, I was pretty jealous that I wasn't using my Warlock. I found myself, I think, getting maybe half the kills and half the score that you got towards the end, so it was pretty ridiculous what you were able to do.
Well, a lot of that had to do with the actual armor I was using. I did run max discipline, but that's just because I tend to tune my warlocks for intellect and discipline. I also went with the Heart of Praxic Fire, which is old favorite of all Sunsingers, as you get to use your grenades much more frequently. Also good. I believe it's a Song of Flame perk. Help my team reduce their cooldowns. I went with the gain additional grenade, and I chose Fusion Grenade. This could also been ran with any of the Sunsinger grenades, really. So 2 grenades, frequently increasing all of the allies' cooldowns, max discipline build, Heart of Praxic Fire. Oh, I also ran increased duration of radiance. You definitely do not want Fireborn this week on your Sunsinger. You do not, because you need to use that super as much as you can. You will also get extra points for every orb created. So as I was destroying the Taken in that last round with my fusion grenades, I would also get a point bonus for making an orb, netting me over 300 points every single grenade kill. It's very nice.
And the reason we're kind of highlighting the Sunsinger this week is because of the modifiers. You have grenade kill bonus, which means grenade kills are worth more points. Catapult, which means your grenade recharge rate is greatly increased. And Berserk, meaning minions of darkness won't flinch even after massive damage. Alright, so room 1 in this week's challenge leads you to the Hive Chamber to fight Psylocke the Defiled. This is the same fire-breathing knight that we fought last week, who likes to cover the room with damaging fire puddles. What would you say is an effective strategy for this room, Randy?
What I personally like to do, as someone who has soloed week 1 many times, and I have fought my way through this particular boss fight over and over again, when you first enter the arena after the boss animation goes through its thing, you kind of stay in the beginning by the door and you take out the ads. That's what's most important. As long as you can stay by the door, the boss won't really see you because there's a big hill type thing in the way, which means he won't start spitting fire at you. Your only real threat here will be the wizards. And if you're using some sort of sticky grenades, especially a fusion grenade from either the Sunsinger or the Sunbreaker class, they're really just not an issue at all.
Yeah, and then playing as a hunter, I kind of just sat back and I let Gorf do his thing with his grenades. Every now and then I would get a smoke bomb and a grenade of my own to throw at the enemies and get some points. I also tried to create as many orbs as I could so that he could get his special up, which would allow him to create more orbs and get more points. Overall, the fight it's really simple. Chip away at the boss, kill the ads, and then move on.
One thing I found really helpful throughout my many adventures of last week, which I put into use this week, also for this particular boss, is that when you get to the phase where you're ready to damage the boss, you kind of want to split your team up. You don't want the boss to shoot fire in the same place every time, because then if you ever have to wander over there, say you're running low on health trying to escape from ads, it turns into an absolute death trap. So one of us would run right, one of us would run left, or we would just try to stay a decent enough distance apart to spread his fire around. That way it would be in an area where it wouldn't really affect us that much.
Room 2 is against Val Aruun. I don't know how to say his name, but he's also accompanied by the Flayers from the Strike mission. So what was your strategy for this mission?
Alright, my particular strategy for this room was the same as all the other rooms that I've played so far in the week 1 and 2 Challenge of Elders. When we recorded this playthrough, we had gone through blind, which isn't a big deal in this particular series, the Challenge of Elders, because it's not particularly difficult. But I thought we could just go in there, blast the boss, take our time, get some points on the ads, and be done. And that turned out to be pretty wrong. It was actually FJ here who pointed out rather quickly what we had to do to win, as I was the first to point out that the boss and the flayers I was randomly trying to damage would just say immune.
Yeah, it took us a minute or two to figure out this room's game mechanic, but it is actually really simple. All you have to do is look for the Scion Flare that has a light circling around them. Once you kill the flare with the light, the main boss will momentarily lose his shield. When you find that he is again eating your bullets, look for the second light encircled flare. Repeat this process one more time, and you'll be able to direct all remaining firepower or magic at the boss.
After the second room, which actually featured a mechanic for us to follow, I was expecting a more intricate round 3, but it turned out to be more of the same as last week and the first round, where we pretty much killed the ads, damaged the boss, killed the ads. But like last week, there is some sort of points modifier on making round 3 the easiest round to earn points on. Everything appears to be tripled, and I think we ended up with over 20,000 points for that round alone. Now, the Templar boss would have a sort of AoE attack. It's an area with a red circle on the ground, and if you get caught in that, it will tear you up. FJ and I were unfortunate enough to be caught in there a couple times because we were focused on gathering points, and we would have to get a couple revives. It got a little ugly there. But overall, I would say it was a pretty easy fight. You just stay back, maybe around the door entrance. We didn't go far left or far right like you do in other Vex, Prison, and other stages. And we just kind of went to town.
Yeah, I agree. It was a very straightforward fight, and there wasn't much to it other than dodging the boss, dodging the enemy bullets, and just killing everything. What were your thoughts on the difficulty this week?
I didn't find it difficult at all. It might have been a step up from last week, which I was running solo, as I've said before, from as low as 312 light on a hunter, which of course doesn't have self-res. So I felt pretty accomplished with that. Overall, I would say the Challenge of Elders the last 2 weeks has been underwhelming in its difficulty, but I find that as kind of a breath of fresh air. I'm glad that I don't need a 6-man fire team. I'm glad I don't need a 3-man fire team. I can hop on with my friend FJ here, or I can even help out some of my kids who also like to play the game. And we can run through it real quick. We can get some decent rewards. We can even get some really good rewards if we're lucky enough. But it doesn't take that long. It doesn't give me a migraine. So as of right now, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it seems like Bungie is trying to take a different direction with the game. Instead of punishing the player, they're rewarding them and making the game more enjoyable.
Alright, something I would also like to point out is that nearly every class has certain perks or exotic items to really help them along to get the bonus points you'll need. Hunters have the young Ahamkara Spine, I believe it is, which can give you an additional trip mine grenade, which can take out a lot of enemies. Or you could use the Blade Dancer class with, I believe it's the Flux Grenade, another sticky grenade which will really do just massive damage, especially when the enemies are grouped together. And the Titans, their Sunbreaker class, has a perk that while your super is full, your grenades recharge much faster. All of that will really stack and help you gain the points you need to get that awesome weapon from Varix for your 30,000 high score. Alright guys, the last thing I want to mention here about the Challenge of Elders is if you are frustrated with your loot, do not forget to return to orbit. That is when the good drops come. That's when you can get the specific exotics. That's when you can get some nice legendaries. It's when you return to orbit. Alright, so to wrap things up here, Challenge of Elders last week, super easy mode. Challenge of Elders this week, medium easy mode. My predictions for Challenge of Elders next week, not really that bad. Alright, so I hope we helped you out here. If you're still looking for some runs, maybe you can leave a comment. Maybe we can run you guys through. If you're struggling, you don't need to be that high of a light level for this, alright? You really don't. So don't buy into any light level 320 plus bull. Alright guys, go ahead and throw a like our way, give us a comment, maybe subscribe a little bit. Alright? So until next time, peace out!